Hi, Losi XX here. In today's video I want to tell you and show you some upgrades I've done on my vintage Losi XX car. I have, for example, updated the rear hubs and the front hex to 12mm. And I've also bought a new e.t.c for it, an LRP e.t.c. Compared to the one I used from the beginning, and the stock 60 amp Tim Ryan e.t.c that was not equipped with a sensor cable input. But let's go to the workbench and I can show you the car. So here we have my vintage Losi XX car, how it looks like now. And I wanted to do the upgrade on it when it comes to the 12mm hex system. And the first thing I did was I bought from eBay some 12mm hex adapters to use on the original inch hexes. There are 3D printed plastic, and you could choose some different color on it. And when it comes to the rear, I wanted to the easiest was to try to drill out the rear hubs original, because I could not use, as I first thought, like Schumachers rear hubs, because they are made for using when it comes to the twin part on it. They are not they don't have an twin angle on them, because the all of the twin angle sits in the how would say it, on the A arms inside. So I don't know if that was sounded correctly, but I had to use the original hubs so I can make keep the twin angle as it is. And I drill out the rear hubs with a 10mm drill, and also increased the depths in it, because the original is as you know, inch ball bearing, about 3mm wide, but I wanted to use 5, 10, 4mm ball bearings. So I had trouble with that part, because I only succeeded with the left side, but the rear hubs I failed with 2 of them. My own original, and I got a couple of rear hubs original from a old club friend, if I say so, and I also failed with that, so I had to order 2 new pairs from eBay, and finally I succeeded with those 2. But as you can see, this car is now equipped with the Schumacher rear and front rims. And so it matched with today's standard when it comes to the width also, compared to, if you can take a look at these rims. This is the front rims. This is the original, but it's not original made by the Losi themselves. This actually is made by I mentioned this in my first video about my vintage car, I think it was, but I mention it again then for you new viewers that has not seen that video maybe. But this rims was made by RC shop, RC car shop, and those guys competed also in a winter series and summer series actually. But those one was the one who made these rims, and it's called the shop was called Pro Car. So these Pro Car rims, both front and rear. So, but this is made for the original hex, as you can see, and And also, this is the second front tire, but this is the rear tire, from the rim. As also you can see, it's made for the original, just the pin system on the rear. So also wanted, before I take the body off, and I'm gonna have a little say about that also, but just to compare the width when it comes to the more older rims and the new one, just for fun. So as you can see, it is a little bit difference. Try to get the best I can with. Here you can see it is a couple of millimeters wider with the new one. And also, if I'm gonna move the car, see the rear instead. Have to work with one hand here. I think that should be enough. Well, now we can see the whole rear width with the new, and this compared to the old one. That's close enough, but as you can see, there's a big difference. So, and I also wanted to change the body shell on it with the wing. So because I like the old one I have, but it has it's an old crack on it. It's broken. I tried to fix it last year as best as I could with rubber fix and Lexan plastic, but it cracked again. So I wanted to buy a new body for it, and also painted it with my colors that I use today, and I have done so a couple of years ago. But it comes to that black and blue. That's my color scheme. A couple of years back, that I am satisfied with. So, but this body is made for to look like the original. Is a reproduction body shell, and also with the wing included. It is made by a company. It's called Penguin Custom Body Shells, and they are at least have worked together with Schumacher before and made the modern body shells for them. But they also do vintage body shells, and I'm gonna leave a description, a link, to their site in the description below, so you can check it out if you want to. And they also make and I can say they make a whole lot of different body shells for most of the most well-known companies like Porsche and Losi, Schumacher, Associated, etc. I think just you have to check it out and see what they have. And the body shell itself was not so bad to cut out. It was good with lines to follow, and I just cut it out and make it work. But the wing was more difficult because it was not so much line to follow, how to cut it so it would look like it should. So I had to take a look at the picture so we can have something to follow and cut it out that way. And I'm gonna take the wing and body off now. But beside that, I am very satisfied with the wing and the body. And I also changed the antenna tube to a Traxxas blue one, as I also use in most of my other racing vehicles, like my Schumacher L1 Evo and the Pan car from Schumacher. Also, as you can see, I wanted to equip with a black body clip with a blue wire thing here, just to make it black and blue, because I am damaged when it comes to my color scheme. I wanted the black and blue. So I'm gonna take the body off and show you the e.t.c. I bought for it. There you have it, the new LRP e.t.c. with it is like a stock racing e.t.c, and it can take actually modified motors down to a 5.5 turn. So you can use racing motors also. But the most important thing for me with this was the possibility to use with a sensor wire from the e.t.c to the motor, because I didn't have that the last time I drove with it, because the car was pretty slow because I did not have a sensor wire connected to the motor. But now I have, so it's gonna be really, and also it's a turbo function on it. I have already put that in the program, so it's gonna be very exciting for me to test this car out now with the new e.t.c and the new tires. And I also exchanged my old Futaba servo for this Savux servo I have. It is the 1258 Savux servo with a 12 kilogram of force, 0.08 seconds. The speed on it is exactly the same as my old Futaba, but it is 2 kilograms stronger. But the biggest difference is gonna be the e.t.c, of course, with the sensor cable and the tires. And one other big thing I did when it came to upgrade, I'm gonna take off the wheel, one of front and one on the rear, so you can see how it looks like. Now I have taken the wheels off on one side here, and I wanted to show you more how it looks like. This is the last thing I'm gonna talk about in the video when it comes to the upgrading with the hex. I also forgot to mention that I upgraded the front steering I exchanged the original inch screw that go through here, 440 screw or nut, locking nut, to a 25 millimeter long M3 screw instead, button head screw. So because I want to have a millimeter on it, and also because I use this, as you can see, this hex this hex, of course, is gonna take away some of the length of the original screw, and also when it comes to, I don't think the rim itself is not so much. I think it is maybe a little bit thicker also here compared to the old one, but this is the most that takes away some of the length of the screw here. And also because I wanted to use M3 locking nuts with a flange on it, and also that's a 1 millimeter thickness extra compared to ordinary locking nuts. So that's why I wanted to exchange to a M3 screw instead. And I am very satisfied with the result, and so with how it turned out to be. And this is also a thing I had to do. The original hole is made for 5 millimeter drive shaft axle with the hex, as you can see here. But because I used this on a M3 screw, I had to make some kind of adapter tube. As you can see, this is made by a brass tube, 2 of them, that is glued together inside each other. But the outside of the biggest tube is not glued inside the rim, because I wanted to be able to take it out, because as long as the rim is not damaged or things like that, I want to reuse the rim again when this tire is worn out. So I can just cut away the tire and use the rim again. So I just plug out this little rim, this little brass tube adapter thing, and I have a 5mm old drive shaft that I use to put the rim on, and can cut the tire again. And so that's why this has to be loose. But it's not falling loose out. It sits there as long as you want it to, and just that after that you get just put it here, and but enough for the front, and let's go to the rear side instead. And here you can see how it looks like with the Schumacher drive shaft in it. And I'm very surprised that for a car that is from '94, I did not have to use any shims or anything inside here. So all I have to do was just drill out the holes outside and inside in the hub, and make sure that I got the ball bearings outside, edge to edge with the plastic edges inside and outside. And after that, I just had to put the drive shaft in and put the hex on there, and the little pin and the O-ring, like exactly the same as I do on the Schumacher cars. So it works really well. Very good precision. Nothing, no more movement than it has to be. Works great. And this also is an adapter thing I had to do, because I don't have the original drive shafts anymore. Just thrown them away. But this, I don't, if I call it a knob or something on the drive shaft, and the pins here, compared to the original drive shafts, that big knob inside here is much smaller for this diff out drive compared to the original drive shafts. So I had to make like a brass tube adapter to put in this diff out drive to decrease the hole size, so just to make sure that this big knob on the drive shaft doesn't wobble around inside here too much, to make it more stable like the original does, like any original drive shafts that is made for the car itself. So I had to make that. So I made that of 8mm brass tube, and this one on this side, or left side here, is longer than on the right side. It is because it is a ball diff, and on the other side you have that plastic part with a locking nut in it, and that takes some room more on the outside. So that's why that brass tube adapter for the outdrive has to be a couple of millimeters shorter than on this side. But and at first this edge here on the brass, as you can see, it was all the way out, edge to edge on this outdrive. But after I have moved the shock here to the hole here instead of the extra hole here, the A-arms got a more downside angle to it, and then it was a problem with the drive shafts again. It got a little bit stuck here, because I had to I noticed that I had to cut away some more material of these pins, and also it was that this brass tube was too long after that for the drive shaft to be able to be down in a more angle compared to what it was before. So I had to shorten this a little bit more here, like 1 millimeter, I think maybe it was. So this brass tube on this edge is a little bit more inside compared to the edge on the original out drive here. And also have to, I don't know what it's called in English, but I had to cut down in an angle on this brass tube also, like the original has, also just to help the drive shaft be able to be in a more angle. So that was the last one of the last things I noticed I had to do to make it work more perfectly. And if I go back also when it comes to the body shell, the company Penguin Custom Body Shells also makes make gear covers also. So when it comes to the old gear cover I had originally, it had the plastic had yellowed and get a little bit brownish. And what I did was I as you can see in the first video, I had painted it black because so I could try to make it look more better, but it was also cracked. So I wanted to change that out. So I bought 2 of these new gear covers, and also there I had not so much to go after when it comes to the cutting. I just have to look and try and cut away as good as I could, and just test until it was good enough to use. And one more thing I noticed when I connected the battery to the car and did a little test throttle, it also become so the spur gear actually touched the plastic down here, and so I had to cut away more material, and I'm gonna try to show it. Now I think you can see. So there is, you have an open area for the spur gear, just to be sure that it cannot touch the plastic and make it go slower and worn out. So that cutting was together with the shortening of the brass tube adapters was the absolute last thing I did to make it work. And so I'm gonna also buy a new motor for my 1/12 scale pan car. I'm gonna buy a Hobbywing G4R for it in the stock class 13.5. And that other motor I have in it now is a Surpass Rocket V5R, and that motor is gonna be put in my Losi afterwards. So, but at least now I can use this motor with sensor cable. That's gonna be a pretty huge difference, and together with the turbo function. And now next Sunday, it's a premiere driving for the indoor season, and I'm gonna take this car and my Schumacher buggy. I'm gonna test the cars and see how they feel like with the new changes I've done. It's gonna be especially fun to test the Losi car. Now with the new tires and e.t.c, etc, with the sensor cable, and see how it goes on the track. And hopefully I can have some filming for me. It would be very, very good. So I can show you how it drives now. But that is for now. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, so please do so and support. If you have any questions or comments, put it down below and I'll try to answer. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And just want to say thank you for watching. I hope you find this video interesting about my Losi vintage car and with the updates. And I hope to see you in the next video. So take care and goodbye.